Twin Cities Adventures here, and it's late fall in Minnesota. And today we're going to take our pressure washer and clean out and winterize the koi pond. Here's our koi pond. It's the end of the season. It's time to winterize it. Here's the koi fish hanging out in the middle. First thing we need to do is catch the koi fish, put them in the garage for the winter, remove the lily pads, put those inside for the winter, and then we'll empty the pond and we'll pressure wash and clean it. All we do is scoop our fish out one by one with our nets, bring them into the garage, and put them into their winter home. They're a little bit lethargic because the weather is really cold and they're getting prepared to hibernate for the winter. Earlier, we had some cattails here, here, and here. We already cut those down for the year. Now we're gonna bring in the lily pads. We have clusters here, 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 and here. So we're gonna bring those in and winter those in the garage because if they freeze completely, they'll die. The cattails are supposed to freeze and they will make it and be hardy for the up and coming years. So let's take the lily pads out next. So pull your lily pads up on the edge of your pond, let them drain a bit, and then we'll put them in this garbage can. It's a thick rubber garbage can, and then we'll haul that back in the garage. We're gonna put a bubbler in here for airflow, just to get the water moving around. And then later on, we'll plug in this heater when it gets colder, and we'll have the heater on all year round, and then we'll cover it with a tomato net so nobody jumps out. Back at the pond again, we pulled the water feed out of our filter pond here, and we're gonna drain the pond first. Now we'll take our shop vac and we will suck the water out of the top pond and get that ready to pressure wash. After the water is removed, now is the time if you want to cut back your cattails, as we are going to do here and here. This one doesn't need it as much, but the other couple of them need to be cut back because they grow and thrive in our pond. Notice that when we pressure wash, we use the universal green tip for the pressure washer. This is the perfect amount of pressure to clean all of the rubber and the plants off and the boulders and rocks without doing any damage to the liner. Now this is the inside of our filter pond. We just pulled out all of our sponges and our bio materials, so we can pressure wash this next. And then over in the yard, Samuel's going to pressure wash the foam pads and then the laundry bags filled with sponges. Looks like Samuel's just about complete power washing all of our filters. Now I'm going to shop vac out the deep koi cave that's underneath the top pond. Once all the old icky water and mildew and pond junk is all cleaned up and shop vac'd out, we're going to give it one more good pressure washing just to give it that nice clean look and get all that extra gunk out of the water. And then you're going to follow up by shop vacuuming all of the water and gunk out of the pond. And then Samuel's over here pressure washing all of the gunk and icky stuff in the yard into one big pile that we can scoop up and get rid of. Then after your filters are completely washed off, we're going to put them in a bin and take those over to the fence by the chicken coop and let those air dry for a day or two. And once they're completely dry, then we'll put them back into this garbage can and we'll put that in the shed and store those for the winter. Now we're just going to give it a light pressure wash to clean the area up, the flagstone patio, and make it look really nice for the year. There's the completed project in the pond. It's all cleaned up, all vacuumed up. I pulled the pump out and I'm going to wrap that in plastic later and store that for the year. And then we'll take our leaf blower and we'll blow all of the leaves and all of the debris away from the pond area and clean up the backyard. Now that the pond is all cleaned up and ready for winter, we're going to fill it back up with a few inches of water. It's best to let your pond winter frozen other than dry because you don't want dry rot with your liner. So we're going to fill the bottom one a few inches, the top pond a few inches, but we're going to keep the filter pond bone dry because it's deep and it takes forever for that to defrost. So I'm going to put a tarp over the top of that filter pond and we'll leave this open and this open for winter. Then I take the pump out and just wrap it a couple times in a tarp and put a bungee cord on it and it'll sit right there for the winter and it'll be just fine. So the pond's all cleaned up. There's the end result for the year. So that will freeze over solid, and then next spring when that melts, we'll fill it the rest of the way up, do a light cleaning with the net, get it running, put the fish back, we'll be ready to roll. So check on the chickens. Here's the chicken run. Chicken house is all cleaned up, ready for winter. I like to put some Timothy grass in there, whole bale of that. Gives them something to do. They like to dig around in it. Absorbs poo in the winter, plus they eat it. Makes them happy. It smells really good in here. This chicken's already molting. She's gonna lose all her feathers and then grow a thick winter coat. So that's good. Everything's all cleaned up. I'm all cleaned up. Thanks for watching. Twin Cities Adventures out.